Okay? But we must not, again, condone those of us, because of their own failures, they now want to manipulate a situation, and some of them are part of the problem that has caused the situation. They want to manipulate it, and suddenly they have become the champions of a better Kenya, the champions of good governance, and when they were in office, they didn't have any indication whatsoever that they respect good governance. Is that not true? Is that not true? So we must be very candid with each other. I see some people today pretending that now they are the best reformists. And they are certainly very clever people with very many ideas. But when they are in office, they were perpetuating dangerous, divisive, and useless ideologies that cannot help anybody. Isn't it? Yeah. And I want to face these characters. I want a face-off. I want us to go on TV and media and debate. And everybody must account for their time. Yeah. I want to debate some of these characters. They are basically there poisoning people and talking about, you know, very primitive ways of solving national problems. Na sisi hatujaingia public service ati sijui kutafuta nini. We are here because we believe in Kenya. We have a history. We can account for everything else we've done in the past. We can explain ourselves what we did to create a better Kenya. And the other person must also say what they have been doing. They cannot say, no. I am going to be clever now, from now henceforth. And they are saying that after they have left office. My friend, hao watu wanapiga kelele hapa, wacha kampeni ianze. Siko tu hapa 2027. Watajua hawajui, my friend. Some of the crooks making noise here, tutawatuma nyumbani one way. Na debate ikitanwa wasipotee, wakuja hapa tumenyane na hao. Comrades power. Yes, you cannot mislead people using shortcuts and cheap things and tricks, and some of these people are just crooks, nothing but just little crooks everywhere. So mimi nataka niwaambie hivi wenzangu, the second and last issue, that we as government understand the challenges our country is facing. I, as Deputy President of Kenya, I do appreciate deeply that Kenya, our country, is a country that has a lot of potential, but we still also have very, very serious difficulties, challenges. However, because we have a good population, we have a fairly good and educated population, innovative people, and a fairly good economy compared to other economies, especially in the neighboring region, Kenya has a good future. I believe Kenya has a good future. Kenya has a good future. And there are many people today who want to lead Kenya, but they don't believe Kenya has a good future. How do you want to lead a country which you believe has no future and is doomed? It's a contradiction, isn't it? We must believe in our country, good people. And make no mistake, believing in your country doesn't mean you must support the people in office, in leadership. Those are two different things. People in office, members of the county assembly, MPs, presidents, governors, everybody, those are functionaries, those are officials of state. They come and go. They come and go. But the country is perpetual, is permanent. So you must believe in the country, even if you have issues with the people who might be in leadership in one corner or the other corner, because it's temporary. There are ways in which we deal with people who don't perform. When that time comes, the citizens exercise their responsibility. And there's no big issue around that. Those who win, they become our leaders. Those who lose, they wait. They will become leaders another time. Isn't it? It's as simple as that. But you cannot use the challenges the country is facing to bring violence, to destroy people's investments. As we are looking for more jobs for young people, the businesses that are giving jobs, they are being burnt by the same young people that are jobless. What a contradiction. Si watu ni washenzi. Si wako na ushenzi. So don't allow educated people like you, let the leader persuade you. If a leader doesn't have good policies on roads, on making Kenya have universal electricity connection, good or a better health system, good or better education system, if someone doesn't have good ideas or better ideas than the other one, huyo mtu asikuja kupotezea wakati hapa na mambo ya ujinga, na mambo ya bure hapa na kukuzubaisha. You are an educated person. Yeah, na mimi I'm waiting for those characters. I am waiting for them. I am waiting for them. Wacha kampeni yanze. Mimi nawangojea. Na wengine wanaongea tu mambo ya bure hapo na maringo mingi, unaongea na kiburi. Na hakuna kitu anajua. Ajui chochote. Ukimuuliza how do you transform the economy from lower middle income country where Kenya is now to upper middle income country in the next 20 years, anasema ngojeeni kwanza. Yes, yeah. And now, so it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very difficult. So I know, for example, good people, our education system has a number of challenges, right from primary, secondary education, tertiary education, and university education. You saw President Ruto, the first thing he did was to establish a task force on education reforms, the first item in 2022. I know we are struggling with the recommendations, some of which are working well, others are not working so well. We are trying to fine-tune them. But I want to assure you, we are committed to reform our education system so that it becomes more responsive in the times we are living in and create better workforce for Kenya and even to export to other countries because the world now is globalized. So we are trying. We are not saying we are perfect, but we are doing our best. We are doing our best to make sure that we reform, fine-tune, improve, and make sure our education system works better. You know very well, for primary and secondary education, because you are not there, but your brothers and sisters are there. In the past, one of the challenges we are having about equity and access to education is some schools have very good teachers, some private schools, and even some public schools in good places like Nairobi have all the teachers they need, all the books they need, they have a good environment. And that student, that pupil there will do exams with another child in some corner who does not have enough teachers and who does not have good facilities, no books. And you expect both of them to compete. So we are looking at education reforms holistically. The four pillars of a good education system is access, promoting an education system that is accessible to as many children, as many students as possible. Access to education. Number two, affordability. The ability of every Kenyan to afford to get an education. Number three is quality. When they get that piece of paper, it can guarantee them a job or an income opportunity, not just locally, but elsewhere. And then finally, we are working to make sure that our education system is relevant so that we don't teach the things of the 16th century in the 21st century. Right? So those are the parameters that are guiding our education reforms journey: access, affordability, quality, and relevance. In between those four pillars, there are so many things that we are trying to do, and we are doing. Previously, we used, as a country, to employ secondary and primary school teachers 4,000 to 5,000 per year. When President Ruto assumed office, we established, again through the support of experts and professionals in that field of education, that if we go by that pace, we will never have enough teachers so that every primary and secondary school can have enough teachers. It will not happen. And if some schools don't have enough teachers, that affects quality and relevance of the education system, isn't it? So we used to employ 4,000, 5,000 teachers a year. You're learned people. You can go and find out how many teachers were employed by government in 2023, not 2023, 2021, 2020, 2019, all the way. And I put it to you, no other administration has employed as many teachers in primary and secondary school than the administration of William Ruto in 3 years. Why? Because where we were employing 4,000, 5,000 teachers a year, when President Ruto took over this government, we started employing teachers in large scale. In the last 2.7 years, or 2.8 years, we have employed 76,000. In December, we'll employ another 24,000. Remember, in the past, 5,000, 4,000. In 2 years and something, almost 3 years, 76,000. And by December, by the time we are in 3 years, this government will have employed 100,000 teachers for primary school and secondary school. Another statistics, because I'm dealing with knowledgeable people. Another statistics which you can verify is between 1963 and 2022, 2021, the number of teachers employed in secondary and primary schools were slightly over 300,000. I repeat, between 1963 and 2021, the total number of teachers in the whole country was slightly over 300,000 teachers, primary and secondary school. The William Ruto administration in 3 years will have employed 100,000 teachers, 30% of all the teachers employed since independence up to 2021. So when we are talking about 2 terms, those are the figures. And we are not talking about, you can know how many teachers have been employed in the last 2 years, 3 years, isn't it? So when we say 2 terms, we are saying 2 terms, and after 2 terms, no teacher who has qualified will be jobless. Every person with a qualification as a teacher will have a job. Isn't it? So we have so many graduates in education. Today they are jobless, they are idle, they can't feed their families. Some have been at home for 10, 12 years. They are almost entering retirement. They don't have a job. So that is a great challenge which is affecting us, and it's also affecting the quality of our education system. So I am told there are some teachers in our midst here. Yeah, so the things I'm saying, I'm not cooking them. For those of you who are not teachers, they can verify for you. Kuna teachers hapa wa GSS na senior school. So good people, there are many things we are doing there. Maybe we don't shout about them every day. In the last 3 years, we have built as a government 23,000 classrooms across Kenya. 7,000 of them through CDF, 23,000 of them through the Ministry of Education. And I want to assure you, we will go out of our way to make sure that every school has good modern classrooms in Kenya. And that journey we are traveling, we are on course, we will reach there. That's how you modernize a country. You don't modernize a country through tribalism and nonsense. You modernize a country by making sure the education system is of high quality and is relevant, and many children have access to it, and other interventions. I don't have time to speak about everything, but those are some of the interventions in the tertiary education. You know, I'll just speak of 3 things in 2 minutes. In the tertiary level, the technical institutes and polytechnics and so forth, we found that there was a problem in Kenya because in 2022, there are 297,000 students in the technical training institutes, in the tertiary institutions, 297,000. But the university students were about 1 million. In many countries, the number of students in the tertiary middle level colleges are supposed to be more than those in the university. The same way in the university, the undergraduates are more than the master's students, and the master's students are more than the PhDs. That's how you create a good, well-structured educational system. So we found out there are many people who stop school, but they don't go to university, they don't go to technical institutes. In the last 3 years, we have pushed the enrollment in the technical training institutes from 297,000 in August 2022 to today, 700,000 students. Our aim is by next year, by close of 2026, we take that figure to 2 million students. How are we doing it? You know, as I said again, it is not abracadabra. It is not the abracadabra people are shouting there, I don't know, one term, I don't know, Kasongo. But you know that's not a policy. Yeah, if you don't like a president, you wait for the election, campaign against that president. If you persuade Kenyans, you lead us. If you don't persuade them, you wait. Ama namna gani jameni? Yeah. So how are we making sure we get to 2 million? We have introduced in the TVETs, I think in the last few months, I think we passed it in the cabinet last few months, something or a program known as the dual training policy. You spend some time studying theory, but you cannot graduate until you have some practical attachment in a practical project related to the course you're studying, so that when you come out, you are of better quality, isn't it? You cannot be an electrical engineer who has just been taught, you have a certificate in electrical engineering, but you have just been taught about electrical science in theory. You must go and get attached to Kenya Power or some project for last mile connectivity so that you do some practical thing while you are still in school before you graduate. Then we have introduced something called recognition of prior learning. Because again, that TVET skills, that TVET space mainly is for skills. It's not theoretical knowledge. It's not like other disciplines like law and humanities and so forth. It's practical skills. So we have introduced a program called recognition of prior learning. There are many young people who do not have a formal certificate, but they have the skill. They are carpenters. They can do a table. They can do a chair. Isn't it? There are many of them who are mechanics, but they have never gone to the TVET. They have never gone to Polytechnic. They can repair a car. They can repair a telephone. God has given them some skills, some knowledge. Okay? And so many other areas where you have people, plumbers and other areas. So we have said, if you have some skill but you don't have a formal certification. We take you to the TVET, but we will not keep you there for 3 years, like the other person who has come from secondary school. We test in very few weeks. We just bring the quality people who test these skills, NITA, the National Industrial Training Agency, and others, so that in a short period, let's say of 6 weeks, 8 weeks, if it is proved you have the skills worth a certificate, we certify you formally, and you go back and continue doing your business. And that increases your employability. If you want to be employed, you have something. Like now, many Gulf countries are asking for plumbers, electricians. But if you are there, an electrician with prior learning, which is not certified, you can't get that job because you don't have a certificate. So those are there are many, but those are some of the interventions we are making at tertiary level,